In a cramped cell at home in prison, Anthony Ray Hinton stares through the tiny window, watching the sun rise. It's 1985, and a man who's been sentenced to death is just waking up. But Ray knows one thing for sure: he didn't kill those two men in Alabama. How do you survive 30 years on death row, waiting to die for a crime you didn't commit? That's where his story begins. At just 29, Ray's life spirals when he's arrested for murder. How does a quiet man survive being thrust into a brutal justice system that thinks he's guilty? In 1985, Ray Hinton was arrested in Alabama, accused of two capital murders he didn't commit. Without money or expert lawyers, he was quickly sentenced to death by electrocution. This wasn't just a case of mistaken identity, it was a system that saw a poor black man as guilty before a trial. His lawyer's failure to challenge faulty ballistic evidence chained him to a nightmare. Imagine being trapped in a tiny cell at home in prison with just your thoughts and silence as company. Ray spent his first 3 years isolated, engulfed in anger and despair. It's like being lost in a dark forest where every scream echoes back only to you. But instead of fading away, this silence became a crucible where his spirit would either break or be reforged. Somewhere in that crushing loneliness, Ray made a choice, not just to endure but to live. He turned to books, reading hundreds even while the shadow of death loomed. The power of stories ignited his imagination and humor, becoming his secret weapon. Against all odds, he transformed from a lost prisoner into a beacon of hope for inmates and himself. After those dark early years, Ray doesn't just survive, he transforms. How do you find light inside a place designed to kill hope? Death row meant never knowing if your name was next. Ray watched 54 men executed just feet from his cell. Instead of surrendering, he developed routines and rituals, turning daily survival into a deliberate art. Like a chess player on a ticking clock, every moment was a mental move against despair, preparing him for small victories in a deadly game. Ray became a lighthouse for fellow inmates. When men broke down or gave up, his steadfast spirit pulled them back from the brink. He shared stories, sparked laughter, and reminded everyone that their humanity wasn't stripped by bars or electrodes. His cell became a hub of resilience and light, proof that even in hell, kindness can thrive. He also kept his humor sharp, refusing to let prison steal his joy. Reading became his escape hatch, a vivid, colorful world in stark contrast to gray walls. His imagination didn't just shield him, it rewired his brain for hope in a place built on fear. By holding on to laughter and dreams, Ray proved they couldn't take his soul, only his body. Decades later, a glimmer of hope arrives in the form of a civil rights lawyer. What changed the fate that seemed sealed with a date on an electric chair? In 2004, Brian Stevenson, the lawyer behind Just Mercy, took up Ray's case. Stevenson dug through decades of injustice in Alabama's legal system. He uncovered that the ballistic evidence used against Ray was faulty and that the original trial had many errors. This wasn't just a legal battle, it was a fight to restore dignity to a man forgotten by a broken system. The mechanism here is relentless advocacy paired with forensic science challenging old narratives. Like dusting off an old, tainted painting to reveal the clean canvas beneath, Stevenson's team methodically dismantled the state's case. Their work showed how errors and biases can entangle innocent lives, and how unyielding defense can break the cycle. After 30 agonizing years, Ray was finally released in 2015. His story is a powerful proof that even when everything seems lost, hope and justice can prevail. But beyond freedom, Ray gained a broader mission: to change a system that nearly took his life, reminding us all that the sun always rises, even for those in the darkest places. Back at home in prison, as that morning sun climbs higher outside the bars, Ray's story reminds us your mind can never be locked up. Even in the darkest hell, a man's spirit can choose light. So next time you face your own prison, literal or not, try this. Find a story that sparks your imagination and cling to it like life itself. Because just like Ray, the sun really does shine again. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.